Situations like these are funny until they happen to you. Have you ever injured your back while lifting something at work? If so, you know how much it hurts. The slightest movement seems to make your whole body throb. It's almost impossible to do simple tasks like drive the car or pick up the baby, and going to work is out of the question. But with some precautions and by learning how to lift correctly, you can avoid a painful back injury. Let's face it, nobody wants to miss out on his or her everyday activities. Yet, back injuries occur daily. Consider these facts. In 1987, almost 2 million Americans suffered disabling work-related injuries, and approximately 25% of these involved the back. Last year, 26 ABDICK employees hurt their backs while on the job, and it cost an average of $14,000 to treat each injury. Statistics show that the majority of Americans will experience back pain sometime during their lifetime. So why go through the hassle if you don't have to? All you need is a little back sense. Dr. Paul Ringel, a Chicago physician, will show you how to prevent a bothersome back injury by learning to lift properly.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ringel. As was stated, back pain affects approximately 80% of people during their lifetime, and probably closer to 100% of people involved in heavy lifting. Proper lifting technique can prevent this disabling problem, and we'll go into these techniques in just a moment. However, first I'd like to give you a quick overview of the anatomy of the back and what can go wrong. The back is deceptively complex and consists of many interrelated elements. The backbone or vertebral column is the main support of the human body and consists of a series of bony vertebrae with softer fibrocartilage discs cushioning the space between each one. This backbone forms a hard protective case for the spinal cord, which runs inside of it from the base of the skull to the tailbone, with nerves exiting at the level of each vertebra. The backbone is held together and to the rest of the body by many ligaments and by many layers of muscles, which are also responsible for the amazing strength and movements of the human back. Any one or combination of these elements can be damaged by improper lifting. So anything from a slipped disc to a pinched nerve to a pulled muscle to severe muscle spasms can occur singly or together and cause excruciating pain and possibly long-term disability. These are the proper lifting techniques. First, turn and face the object you wish to lift. Then bend mostly at the knees and hips and only slightly from the waist. Gradually bring the object closer to you as you straighten your knees, hips, and waist. Finally, once lifted, heavy objects should be held close to your body. At all costs, avoid these improper techniques. The weight is ahead of the body, the legs and hips are straight and only the waist is bent. The weight is lifted with a sudden, jerky motion. These are rules to live by. First of all, never carry anything that you cannot manage with relative ease. That means always asking for help when it's needed. Second, always turn and face the object you wish to lift. Third, avoid carrying unbalanced loads. Hold heavy objects close to your body and never lift a heavy object higher than your waist. Fourth, never bend from the waist only. Bend from the knees and hips. And finally, avoid sudden jerky movements. Lift slowly and deliberately. If you follow these few simple rules, your back will be forever grateful to you and will serve you well.
Now, apply these lifting methods to your everyday work routine. But before you try to pick up any object, look it over. Ask yourself these questions. Is this too heavy or too bulky for me to carry alone? For example, this copier's recirculating document handler weighs only 100 pounds, but it's too awkward for one person to handle. Use 2 people to lift it into place. Remember Dr. Ringel's advice. Bend at the knees, get close to the object you're lifting, tighten your abdominal muscles, keep your back straight, and stand up, letting the muscles in your legs and buttocks do the lifting. Even though this copier's finisher is compact, making it easy to lift, remember that it weighs over 100 pounds. Again, use 2 people and the correct lifting method to install it. The next question you should ask is, how high do I have to lift it? Consider the 9880's blanket cylinder. It isn't very heavy, only about 75 pounds, but it has to be raised almost shoulder high to be installed. 2 people using the proper lifting method make the job easier and safer. 2 people are needed to install a 9850's T-head. Once again, remember to bend at the knees and lift using the muscles in your legs and buttocks. Make sure you both lift at the same time. Next, ask yourself, how far do I have to carry it? If you're delivering a case of 20-pound bond to a customer and you can't get a parking spot close to the door, don't try to carry it from the parking lot. Instead, use a collapsible cart. Otherwise, drop it off in the lobby, park your car, and then bring the paper to your customer. Then ask, is this a one-time or a repeated lifting job? Think about the number of times you lift your 50-pound tool case during the course of a day. Remember to use the squat method when you pick it up off the floor, and the hip bend method when you take it out of the truck. Avoid placing the tool case on the front seat of your car. Chances are you'll hurt your back when you try to slide it out. Finally, ask yourself, can I really lift this without difficulty, or am I doing this to impress someone? Our small copiers weigh as little as 68 pounds, but they're so bulky, chances are you'll get hurt or drop the copier if you try to pick it up by yourself. So, use 2 people to lift a tabletop copier and at least 3 people for an S1205. Let's take one more look at the proper lifting methods. For the squat lift, bend at the knees, not the waist. Get close to the load. Tighten your abdominal muscles, keep your back straight, and lift using the muscles in your legs and buttocks. When using the hip bend method, get as close to the load as possible. Tighten your abdominal muscles, bend your knees, position your buttocks properly, put your head and back in a straight line, and lift using your legs, buttocks, and abdominal muscles. These lifting methods are easy to do, and they'll save you from the discomfort of a painful back injury. As I said earlier, 26 of our coworkers hurt their backs last year. With a little back sense, we can cut that number in half this year. And let's try to save scenes like these for at the movies.